Save the Green Planet is directed by Joon-Hwan, a filmmaker who bafflingly never really broke through after this film. And it feels like a genuine shame because this movie is bursting with creativity. It fizzles with this punk rock, barely contained energy, like it's constantly seconds away from combusting in the best way. I revisited this because of Yorgos Lanthimos' upcoming remake, Bugonia, starring Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, and honestly, I was annoyed at myself for forgetting how bold and alive this film is. Structurally, it's wild, and the ending, without spoiling anything, is delightfully unhinged. The premise alone is insane. A man kidnaps a CEO because he's convinced the guy is secretly an alien from the Andromeda galaxy, preparing to annihilate Earth during the next lunar eclipse. So naturally, he takes it upon himself to stop the apocalypse. Meanwhile, a pair of detectives try to track down the missing CEO, and the film becomes part torture thriller, part procedural, part sci fi paranoia spiral. Right from the opening credits, a punk cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, the film declares its tone. Watching this film, I kept trying to track its influence. It feels like a Frankenstein hybrid of Edgar Wright, Terry Gilliam, and Danny Boyle. But underneath all of that genre chaos, it's also a story about mental collapse, about what happens when a person is failed repeatedly by every system meant to protect them. At first, the protagonist reads like a cliched conspiracy crank, but the deeper we go, the clearer it becomes that his delusion is born from abandonment and trauma. The film doesn't ask us to forgive him. He is unquestionably hurting people, but it does ask us to understand how someone ends up in this position. In a world obsessed with dissecting the origins of radicalization, this feels disturbingly relevant today. Online, this film is labeled as a sci fi comedy, and sure, technically, but it's a very specific flavor of comedy, the kind where a death by bees can be hilarious or horrifying depending on how you're wired. The final stretch of this movie leans into that absurdity, but there's a bleakness under all of it that lingers. There's craftsmanship here too, not just chaos. One standout moment has the CEO briefly escaping his restraints, but he can't get out of the basement he's being held in. A detective arrives at the house, and we get this classic Hitchcockian thriller scenario. We have the captive screaming below, the oblivious investigator above, everything hinging on a single moment of discovery. It's a familiar trope, but it's staged with such tension that it almost feels new again. Ultimately, this film is not about aliens at all. It's about pain echoing through a life. How one trauma tips a domino that crashes into something much larger decades later. That's human history in a nutshell. This film deserves to be talked about, especially with the remake looming in the distance. If you could find it, it's absolutely worth your time. It's a wild, tense, deeply strange ride made with imagination and genuine passion.